Hey everyone, this is Adam, and today I'm going to be showing you a quick tutorial on how to export your HTML email designs from Figma to the Ongage email marketing platform using the Emailify plugin. So to get started, all we need to do is go to our Figma file, click on the resources icon at the top here, and if you search for Emailify, so that's Emailify, and under the plugins tab, if you click on the Emailify result, you can run the plugin by either clicking on this run button up here, or I'd recommend clicking on this little save icon here, and that's going to let you run the plugin from your saved plugins list. So I've already clicked on that save icon, so I'm just going to go to my canvas, right click anywhere, go down to plugins, and then go down to saved plugins and click on Emailify. And that's just going to run the plugin we saved a second ago. So if you're new to the plugin, the way that it works is it helps you to design HTML emails in Figma, which you can then export to production-ready code automatically. So in this case, we're going to be uploading it to the Ongage platform. So I'm just going to create a new email, and I'm just going to call it example template, and click on the add new Emailify container button. And that's going to allow us to start adding some components and design elements into the email frame. So I'm not going to be going through all of the design features in the plugin today. If you're new to the plugin and you're curious to know how to use all of those features, I'd recommend checking out a couple of the other videos on the YouTube channel or going through the Emailify documentation site. But for today, I'm just going to keep it really simple and add a few component blocks, which we can then upload to the Ongage platform. So I'm just going to add a few little bits of content here. And I'm not going to customize any of the content today, but once you're happy with your design and you've customized it with your own content and branding, you can then go ahead and click on the footer option. So you've got this footers tab over here, just click on that and then scroll down all the way until you reach the letter O. So we'll just scroll down here and you'll notice that there's an option for the Ongage platform. So just go ahead and click on that Ongage footer component here. And that's going to automatically add a footer with the unsubscribe link and the address tag automatically populated. So you can see we've got the address tag here, which is going to get pre-populated later. But importantly, we've also got the navigation unsubscribe link. So if you click on that link and then click on the settings button in the plugin, you can see that that's automatically been pre-populated with the unsubscribe link here for the Ongage platform. So you can go ahead and customize that footer however you like, but it's worth just going through that footer option to quickly add in those links without having to find them each time. So now that we've got our design in Figma, all we need to do is preview it. So we can preview it by clicking the preview button in the plugin, and that's going to load up a real HTML preview of what the email is going to look like. And we can see that on mobile and also desktop. So you can see it's all responsive. And if you want to add some overrides to any of these elements, you can just click on the element, go to the settings panel, and that'll allow you to do things like change the font size or padding or other bits and pieces like that for your mobile style overrides. So again, I'm not going to go through all of these in detail today, but those are all available for you to customize the design on mobile. So once you're happy with the preview and you're thinking it all looks good, you can basically just close off that preview window, and then we're going to click on this Export HTML button. So just go ahead and click on Export HTML, and we're going to change this default HTML email option, and we're going to scroll down to the platform integrations section. And again, we're going to find the letter O, so just scroll down to that and click on the Ongage option. So you can see here now we've got the Ongage option selected. We can now add our subject line. So I'm just going to call this subject test, and also our pre-header. So the pre-header text is what gets added after your subject line when your customer or user is going to open up that email in their client, like in Gmail or Outlook. So you just want to put in whatever preview or pre-header text you want to include in here, and it's automatically going to get included in the HTML. So once you've added those, just go ahead and click on the Export for Ongage button. So I'm going to click that now. And this is automatically going to generate the production-ready HTML and upload those images and give us a zip file to download. So once that confirmation message pops up, just click on the Download Your Zip File button and then save that anywhere. So I'm just going to save that to my desktop. And if you unzip that file, you'll get this folder over here, which is going to give you a couple of different files. So the previews file is just a preview HTML file that you can use to check out all of your emails in one place. So for example, if we open that up, you can see what it looks like. So we'll just drag that in here, and you can see it's kind of a nice little preview page showing the desktop and mobile version. So this is really good for reviewing the emails. But for actually uploading them, the file that we're interested in is inside of this example template folder. And you'll notice that it's named the same as what the frame was called in Figma. So the frame was called example template. So your folder will be named whatever you've named the template. And the file that actually contains our HTML template is this index.html file. So we can have a look at that by dragging that into the browser as well. And we're going to come back here in a second to copy paste that HTML into Ongage. So the next step is to log in to your Ongage account. So if you've logged into your dashboard, where you want to go is this campaigns section over here. So if you click on the campaigns menu item, what you want to then do is go ahead and click on the new campaign button. So you can see in the top right, there's this new campaign button. Just click on that and then click on email. So once the new email screen loads up, you can just give your message a name. So I'm just going to call this one test email message for today. And then you can populate things like your sender name and addresses and all that stuff. Fill that out as needed. And then just go ahead and click on the next button down here. And that's going to bring us to our new email page where we can then add things like subject line and our HTML. So what you want to do is just copy the subject that you added in here. So in the plugin where you already added your subject line, you just want to copy paste that into Ongage. So copy that into here. And the reason for that is in here, it's going to add it into your title tag, but it's also going to be needed to send that out through Ongage in here. So just make sure those are the same. And then if you've already gone ahead and added your pre-header text in Emailify, you don't need to add that again in Ongage. So if you do add it again in here, it's going to get doubled up. So I would recommend just doing it in the Emailify plugin and then not bothering about leaving this field populated. So now that we've got those filled out, what we want to do is swap this over to HTML. So it's going to be WYSIWYG by default. Just go ahead and click on the HTML tab. And you can see here now we've got access to the raw HTML content. So going back to the file that we opened a moment ago, which just to remind you was the index.html file. So you basically want to take that index.html file, open that up either in a code editor or in your browser. And then in this case, I'm just going to right click in my browser, go down to view page source and click on that. And then we basically want to copy and paste all of that HTML from this file. So select all of that, copy it to your clipboard, and then go back into Ongage. And we're going to delete all of this HTML content. So just get rid of everything that was in there by default and paste in our own HTML instead. So you can see I've pasted all of that in. So that's looking really good. And then importantly, what you want to do is also uncheck this auto beautify HTML. So just get rid of that. You don't need to turn that on. Just in case it messes up any of the HTML code, which we've already gone ahead and minified for file size optimization. So now that we've got our HTML added in, we can basically just proceed with that by either clicking on save or clicking on next. So I'm just going to click on next. And this is basically going to save that template for us. So you can see here, the email was successfully updated and it's also created a text version from the HTML automatically. So that's looking really good. So the last thing we need to do is just give our campaign a name. So you can call this campaign name, just put in whatever you want there. I'm just going to call it campaign name test. And again, you can add all these other fields yourself. And then basically it's up to you to start adding whatever lists you want to include for your campaign. So if you're a user of the Ongage platform, you've probably gone through this step before. So I'm not going to run through all of that today. So you can also do things like send a test to yourself. So that's probably a good idea if you just want to check out what the HTML looks like, or use a service like litmus.com, and that'll let you send a test to Litmus and see how it looks on all of the different platforms. But again, this is basically all good to go. So once you've added your lists, you can basically go down here and click on schedule, and that's going to take you to the final step where it's going to allow you to schedule the campaign. So you can either send that out immediately or schedule it for a future date. But that's basically it. I'm not going to send this out for now. I just wanted to really run through the design part mostly to get you across how to import your custom HTML that we exported from Figma over here into the Ongage platform. So that's going to be the best way to go about it. Just copy and paste the source code from the index.html file and paste that into the HTML tab in Ongage. And that's going to allow you to have a custom HTML email. You can also click on the WYSIWYG tab over here, and that's going to allow you to do things like change the text. So we can change this to something like that. And you can basically make some small tweaks in here. If you need to make any big design changes, I would personally just go back to the Figma file, change them in here, re-export the HTML, and again, copy paste that index.html file into the Ongage HTML tab. But for quick text tweaks, you can definitely use this WYSIWYG editor if you like, and that should be totally fine too. So I hope that's been helpful if you're an Ongage user and have been wanting to create custom HTML emails from Figma and export them for the Ongage platform. Hopefully this is going to be a workflow improvement for that. And yeah, thank you as always for watching. We'll be back soon with more Figma tutorials like this one shortly.